The dog nuttery continues yet again. Welcome back, Go Dog Butcher. As you can see on, excuse me one second. As you can see on the screen, this is a common phrase that a certain group or groups say. That phrase is "my body, my choice." I made this little meme. I only made the bottom part, but it says, "Except for dogs, it's our choice to butch them," which is 100% true. When it comes to dogs, these dog lovers, they will butch off their dogs, their fur babies, junk. I'll call them junk, and they also do something else with the female. So they basically violating these worthless mutts, even though it's not the dog's choice to have it done, but these dog lovers are willing to take something away from them, and then turn around and call themselves dog lovers and protectors and this and that and high and mighty and worship the dog after they have ripped off their junk. It's ironic in this dog culture how they can be so. I think it's cruel. It is cruel to be so cruel to these dogs, but then say you love them. It's something's going on there, and the term that they use when they do this to dogs and obviously to other animals, I guess, but again we're talking specifically about dogs, is when they rip off rip off the junk off a dog, they call the dog fixed. It's hilarious. It is hilarious that they call the dog fixed after they rip off an organ of theirs, and they call the dog fixed. I don't know if that was you and someone ripped a piece of your body part off, would you call that fixed? Probably not. You would say you are broken. But in this dog culture, it's so weird. It's very weird. And a lot of dog nuts, they don't think about it, because they've been brainwashed to just do. They don't think or have an opposition or an opinion. They just follow and they just do, without thinking of the things that they're saying and doing. But again, it's brainwashing. So we're going to dig in to discover more about this fixing dogs, or the spay and neuter, what they call it, and discover a bit more about it. The question that I did ask while searching was what are the stats or the attack stats on dogs that have been fixed? Do they attack more? Do they attack less? And really, from me looking and searching, I didn't find anything. I did not find anything. No database, no statistics of if certain dogs attack. Let's say pit bulls. I didn't find any stats or database on pit bulls that are fixed or not fixed. Do they attack more or less? There's really nothing there. But nevertheless, I did find some information that I want to shine the light on, and also, like always, give my perspective on. So I did type in. I don't know if you can see, but I typed in benefits of fixing male dogs. And they stated in males, neutering decreases the chance of developing prosthetic disease, hernias, and eliminates the chance of developing testicular cancer. It also reduces the problems with territorial and sexual aggression, inappropriate urination, spaying, and other undesirable male behaviors. So these dogs are born with a body part, and for them to not develop diseases, for them to not be aggressive, to them to not, urinate over the place, they have to cut off their junk off. Does that make any sense here? So you have a dog that is aggressive because it has its sting attack, and you don't want it to be aggressive, so you cut it off. So doesn't that kind of conflict with it's how you train it philosophy? Doesn't that conflict with the dog's nature? Because I think it does. I think it's this is just telling me that the nature of the dog, the natural behavior of the dog is unacceptable. So one way to make it more acceptable is by cutting off one of its body parts, and I guess in hopes that it won't develop diseases and that it won't be aggressive. This is dog culture for you. And these are the types of things that dog nutters, pit nutters, they don't ask about. They don't question. They don't even analyze. And even if they do, unconsciously, they deny it. They block it out. And they just go with the flow, even if it makes no sense. And that just, makes the dog nutter look really dumb, because they have no no control of themselves. They just go with whatever. In this article, 5 good reasons why you should spay and neuter your pet. And again, and we're going to look at it as for dogs. We're talking specifically about dogs. And let's see again if these reasons will conflict with the nature of these worthless mutts. So first one, spay and neuter increases your pet's chances of a longer, healthier life. So cutting off their junk will make them live longer. So basically, when they're born with it and they live with it, they are at a disadvantage. Their own nature, their own body parts, make them at a disadvantage. And they say neutering your dog prevents testicular tumors and may prevent prostate problems. So having these things attached to them creates problems for them? It doesn't make sense here. That their own nature, their own selves creates a problem for them. And the human, the so-called human, the dog nutter, has to cut it off just so they can live longer and healthier lives. Dogs are worthless. They say an altered dog is a better pet for your family. They say males neutered early in life are less aggressive towards other males and are not distracted by females in heat. Therefore, a nurtured male will be less tempted to leave your property to cross the dangerous highway. This is how dumb dogs are in searching for a mate. Neutered males are less likely to mark every one of your neighbor's expensive shrubs with his urine as well as inside the house. Spaying your female pet eliminates problem of stray males camping in your yard and decreases desire. Does this really happen? Even when they're like intact, does this really happen? And if it does happen, and this is part of the dog's nature, why do dog nutters find it acceptable to cut off their junk to prevent them from doing what they're supposed to do? Like all animals, real natural animals have structure. They have structure in the spring, in the fall, winter, and night, morning, afternoon, sun up, full moon, etc., etc., etc. And they're just going to do it. And us looking, we say, hey, that's part of their nature, let it happen. Whatever it means, mating, territory, whatever it is, fur, skin, not skinning, whatever snakes do to take off the old skin. I forgot what it's called, but a lot of animals have various structures that they do throughout their life cycle. Lions, other apex predators will kill younger lions in order to mate, etc. And when we watch older lions kill little baby lion cubs, we look at, oh, that's so sad, but then we say it's nature. But here we have dogs that when they have their junk or whatever, they as they say, that they will cross highways to mate, and they will camp out to mate with a female. But to prevent that, we're going to cut off their junk. The dog nutter wants to take full control. Looks like they want to take full control of these dogs, and they do not like the nature of these worthless mutts. But again, which dog ever really does this? And I'm talking about the domesticated dogs that are living in these homes. No family wants to cope with unwanted pregnancy. It's weird. This is very weird. And it kind of goes back to this. My body, my choice, but you're making choices for these worthless mutts. And you're saying you don't want unwanted pregnancy for your worthless mutt. Let's say your mutt really wants to get whatever, to mate. You are going to prevent it from mating. Man, this is dog culture is cruel. Again, I hate dogs. And, I think dogs should be used a lot more in the dog meat market. But I hate dogs, so it should be, sound reasonable for me to hate dogs and to want people to eat dogs. But these dog lovers are taking control of these worthless mutts, cutting off their junk, and saying that they don't want unwanted pregnancy from their worthless mutt. And they do all these things for them just so they can live longer. They'll cut off their junk just so they can live longer. Or be healthier. And these are the dog lovers. These are the people that call themselves dog lovers. Dog culture is strange, man. It's very strange. Spaying results in cleaner female dog and home. Because female dogs pass bloody fluid for about 10 days, twice a year. Oh, this is disgusting. As part of their estrus cycle, constant care must be taken to avoid carpet stains. Ugh. In homes such as with such animals, again, dogs are not animals. Spaying your dog eliminates this problem. Okay. You're helping elevate the dog and cat overpopulation problem. It's again, we're talking about dogs. We could easily just sell them or give them away to these dog meat markets. Like, why are so many shelters hoarding them? Why are there so many stray dogs about when people could actually be using them to pump money into their economy and to also feed people? You can, if you have to go extra far, maybe we can make slippers out of their fur. I mean, no one wants them. They're worthless anyways. I mean, that's one way of dealing with this overpopulation of dogs. And it's funny how, a species like dogs who has their junk cut off regularly are they're still the ones overpopulating various cities and countries. It just doesn't make sense. We have these worthless mutts overpopulating the let's say as far as the world, where a lot of people don't want them. They're stuck in these shelters. They don't want to just kill them off, but they'll just keep them there in hopes that some dog nut will come around and save them all. And off topic a little bit, I'm going to do something else on this topic. This dog fostering thing. Man, it's starting to pick up steam here now. I was going to do an article on it, but I'm going to save it for later. This dog fostering thing is probably going to start booming up a little more because it's slowly getting there. Again, I'm not sure how long it's been around, but I've been hearing and looking and noticing a lot of this dog fostering stuff where people can basically, let's say, rent a dog for a little bit. And it's free. And some places it's free. So now they're just giving away dogs for free. So you don't have to pay for it. Nothing. It's all free. And I think this is a way of decreasing the so-called dog population in these shelters. A dog nut, fosters a dog for free for a little bit. I don't know how long it is. Then they will fall in love with these worthless mutts, and chances are they're going to keep it. I think that's the plan. Let people rent these things out for free in hopes that they keep it. In hopes that they never come back. Dogs. Like, really? Something so worthless. There's so much shit for these things when they're so worthless. When they have their junk cut off, which makes them even more worthless. And it's the dog lovers that are cutting their junk off. And they have all these excuses. It'll get fat or lazy. It'll change my personality. My pet's personality will change. And they say any change will be for the better. After being altered, your pet will be less aggressive towards other dogs, cats, and have better personality. Better personality. So cutting off their junk will give them better personality. Because the natural state of the dog is worthless. It is repulsive. It is unacceptable So we got to cut them off so they can have a better personality. And so they can be less aggressive. But I thought it was the trainer, the owner. I thought it was the owner and how you train it. And less likely to wander. Again, I was looking up stats about this. Not about this, but about, spay and neuter stats and attacks. And again, as we know, pit bulls are always likely to wander. And when they do wander, they end up attacking people. So I want to know if spaying and neuter has an effect on dogs attacking. What are the stats? I did not find any database of that whatsoever. Urine marking, again, this is about territory. I don't think dogs have territory because they will attack anyone, anywhere. Even when you're on public street or on your own yard, they will still attack you. Is that for territory? People probably say no. The dog just wanted to say hi. The dog, has a brain problem. The dog has this. You did this. You did that. Then these things should not be in our communities. And if there's so much problems that affect these things, and they can attack for any reason, which we may or may not even know, then what's the point of having them? Then you got to say, it's how you train it. Okay, let's say someone does train the dog very well. Then they have some brain damage problem, then which causes them to attack. They're still going to blame the owner. And then if they have these problems in their brains that causes them to attack, why even risk it? Why risk it? Again, they have so much problems that they can choose when a dog attacks. And it doesn't make sense. None of this really makes sense. If they can attack for any reason, why even have them? Why even risk them? But then they say, hey, we can cut off their junk to make them less aggressive. So then you're saying that their natural state is repulsive. Their natural state of being is unacceptable. Which is why you cut off their junk. And even when you do that, you still have other excuses to use in order to protect these things. And even when the dog does attack because of a brain problem, you're still going to blame the owner. So it's like the dog is never at fault. Even though you do certain things to prevent the dog from attacking, and even when the dog does attack, it's never the dog's fault. Only the dog can never be at fault for doing something. It's ridiculous. Can sell puppies and make money. I mean, isn't that what this dog culture, this dog industry is all about? It's about making money. It is about making money. But they don't want little Joe in the neighborhood to make money off dogs. Only these suit and tie people at the very top. They're the only ones that can make the money. But you can't. They're the ones that can breed all these dogs. That's fine. But you living in the suburbs, in the rural, in the urban, you can't breed these things. You can't make money off of them. See, this dog culture, it doesn't make sense. And these dog nutters have allowed it to be the way it is because they don't question anything. They don't question their own dog culture. They let things go every single time because they're too distracted by these worthless mutts. And even when they are looking at these worthless mutts, they can't even see that the thing is worthless and ugly. They will call a lot of dogs cute when they're damn right ugly. And it's no wonder they can't see how they've been, excuse my language, bullshitted this whole entire time. That's why this whole dog culture is just so garbage. My children should witness our pet giving birth. And again, they call them litters because dogs are garbage. I'm concerned about my pet undergoing anesthesia. I mean, again, they gotta do all these things for these worthless mutts. People will call these things cute and beautiful. I hope you can see that. They'll call these things cute and beautiful. And they're ugly. Good reason to spay your female worthless mutt. Heat periods can be messy and embarrassing. Again, these things are unfit to be in this society. There are many natural animals all over the place that experience this, but they don't cause problems for anyone. They handle their business. But with dogs, it's like, as they say, it's very messy. Spay prevents deadly infections. So cutting off, I'm not sure about the female, but again, so cutting off or scrambling the female prevents deadly infections? So you got to do all this stuff to prevent infections or diseases. So again, naturally, these things are disease traps. Like I just made a video about this. About dogs being disease traps. So their natural state is horrible. They got to cut it off. Just so they can be healthy. Again, they mentioned cancer again. Prevents false pregnancy. Look at these things. These things are brain dead, man. These things are stupid. Some intact females act as though they're going to have worthless mutts. They produce milk, and they become obsessed with stuffed toys as puppy substitutes. It sounds harmless, even amusing, of course, for the dog nutter, but the hormonal changes associated with fetal pain can throw your dog's metabolism out of whack, causing health problems. See? These worthless mutts. Their natural state is unacceptable. The dog nuts do not accept this one bit. They don't accept it. So what do? They cut off their junk. Again, they don't want these worthless mutts, doing their nature. They want to, again, control and to dictate what their dogs can and cannot do. And the disadvantages are the risk of obesity. They may spay increase the risk of deadly cancer, called this. So these things are again, they're disease traps. Spaying triples the risk of this disease. Holy shit! Sorry, there's so many diseases here. And this disease is common with all these worthless mutts. Look at so many worthless mutts out there. There are so many worthless mutts out there. And they're all worthless. Again, if they do spay and neuter their worthless mutts, if things go wrong, they can increase the risk of hip dysplasia, torn ligaments, bone cancer, urinary incontinence. I'm pronouncing that right. So it's like a lose-lose here. It's a lose-lose-lose, I say. Look at this, man. There's just so much things wrong here. Man, God, like, seriously, these dog lovers. Are cutting off the junk of these worthless mutts because they are not okay with the natural state of them. 6 benefits of spay and neuter. Again, we already went over this in the other sites that I showed. But I always like to show various websites to see if they have something different. They say it saves you money. No. Whether you spay or neuter a dog or not, man, dogs are going to burn your pockets. They're going to burn your wallet. It's a billion-dollar industry. You're benefiting the entire canine community. Okay. Then we shouldn't. Then again, I think they should just ban dogs. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they should ban dogs. Eliminate them. Eliminate dogs. Yes. But if you know that there is a serious problem in the canine community and there's an overpopulation problem, but yet you still continue to populate dogs in this world, why do you dog nuts still continue to do it? Like, this is a weird culture that you have here. It's very weird. There's so much problem within the dog culture and the canine community, but yet you just continue to dig a bigger hole every time. Like, you are, I could say, somewhat aware of the problems, but you just still do it anyways. You have a chance to prevent problems, but you allow them to happen anyways. So, same thing. How about this? Which dog breeds are the most dangerous? Let's see what they say. A common question when it comes to dog bites is which breeds are the most dangerous. And they talk to these dog nutters, which is not really fair. They conducted a literature review to analyze existing studies on dog bites and serious injuries. Their findings indicate that there is no single breed that stands out as the most dangerous. But then they say which dogs bite the most. Pit bull, mixed breed, again, pit bulls, bully breeds. And if you look at other stats and facts, the pit bull, bully breed, the mixed breed, the unknown breeds, always dominate. So to have stats and the evidence that say pit bulls attack the most, and then to say pit bulls and then to say that no dog is more dangerous, it doesn't make sense here. It doesn't. It's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. This is just so simple, man. So simple here. The studies indicate breed is not a dependable marker, but yet, what do we have here? Hope you guys can see that. Yes, like, what do we have here? And they said, and better and more reliable indicators include owner behavior. Again, always the owner, training the owner, neuter status, again, having to cut off their junk. Dog's location, really? And again, owner again. Oh, but come on, like I don't know. I don't know, man. This is just so simple, but yet, and like I said, it's not fair for them to have dog nutters, conduct these things. When the stats and the facts and the videos and the articles, the pit bull, the bully breeds are dominating. They are dominating in attacks and fatalities. Um, 75.5% of dog bite fatalities meet 4 out of 7 defined criteria. As we're talking of the spay and neuter, I guess 77.9%, I guess, were not spay and neutered, which caused them to attack, I guess. Owners abuse and neglect of the dog, mismanagement of the dog, dog kept as a resident dog rather than a family pet. Like, what? Compromise physical ability of victim. I said that the victim had no relationship with the dog, no other person around to intervene. They said 70% of dog bite fatalities were not family pets. So what does that mean? .4% of dog bite fatalities were not family pets. So that means that if you don't live with a dog, you have a higher chance of being attacked by a dog. And like I said, I know I say this a lot, you don't have to own a dog. You don't have to have any issue with a dog. You could be on your own property, minding your own business, and that dog can attack and kill you right there. You could be gardening. That dog can attack and kill you. Walking home. That dog can attack and kill you. Man. Man, oh man. A few more things. Look at this, man. Look at this. That's too much, man. That is too much. Too much. So why even have these things? I mean, they're a problem. If this was like deer or bears or coyotes, they would just kill them off. But dogs, even though they're worthless, they're allowed to overpopulate this world. Even though they are worthless and stupid and filthy, have diseases, can attack and kill people, we let them live. But any other animal gets executed on the spot. Yeah, and they say spaying and neuter is important to prevent dog bites, increase public safety. So if that's the case, having their natural body part on them is counterproductive. So them to be born with something which makes them more dangerous and you have to cut it off, then there is conflict there. There is a major conflict there. Again, they say cutting off their junk keeps your pet healthy and happy. So why are they even born with it then? Like other animals who shed or whatever, they shed on their own, and they get a fresh body. They produce a new fresh body, like caterpillars, butterflies. snakes, maybe frogs, maybe. Various animals have to like shed their skin, and they get a new, fresh body to live in, and they do just fine. But dogs, you have to have a dog nut cut off their junk just so they can be healthy and happy, just so they don't attack people. And they say most dog bites, 60-80%, are caused by intact male dogs. Pregnant or nursing female worthless mutts are more likely to bite as well. They say, well, neutering your dog or a dog is not the only way to prevent aggressive behaviors. So again, I thought it was the owner. I thought it was how you train it. So if you train it well, and the thing is still intact and it still attacks people, the owner still gets blamed for either A, not cutting off their junk, or B, for allowing it, or for I guess making the dog attack. So it's very, very, very confusing here. I mean, dogs are the only things that only things that require so much precaution, so much excuses, so much prevention, so much laws, so much monitoring, so much responsibility. So like no other animal requires this. No other animal requires this. It's just, sorry, it just doesn't make sense. Ugliness. Can I calm my dog down by having him nurtured? So again, more problems here. In general, however, neutering will not affect your dog's personality. See, again, look at the subjective of this dog culture. In the other article, they said they state that they'll have a better personality if you spay or neuter them. And then here they say neutering will have no effect on your dog's personality, but it may influence its mood and make some behaviors more or less likely. I confused again. I am dumbfounded. I am flabbergasted at the stupidity within this dog culture. And I've said this before in another video, how a lot of things in this dog culture are very subjective. You have one trainer saying this, one trainer can say that, one trainer can say this, and some things they will agree on, other things they disagree on, and it conflicts. We have a trainer that still gets attacked by a dog, another trainer that allows a dog to get attacked, and it's all subjective. And in dog culture, it's full of lies, and they always have to make up things. Always have to make up things. Always. And I think being a dog trainer is like easy. Like if you're a dog nutter, you have to be like a fully pledged, certified, qualified dog nutter to be a dog trainer. Because if you're like a narcissist and like to control dogs, and you're like dominant and aggressive, and you want dogs to be under your control, it's a pretty easy thing. All you gotta do is be physical and feed the thing. Make up stuff, act like you know what you're saying, and hey, there's $2,000 for you. Again, even though dogs are so brain dead, they should be very easy to train. Just feed them, right? Just feed them. Just feed the thing, right? Again, another factor that is wrong with these worthless mutts: testosterone. Testosterone mediated behaviors are common in all male mammals, and all of these have been observed in dogs to at least some extent. And the most important ones, so if they have their junk, increased aggression, increased self-confidence, increased risk-taking, reduced fear response, territorial behavior, roaming, yeah. And to the dog nutter, these traits are repulsive and they're unacceptable. And what does the dog nutter do? They cut off their junk. Because their natural state is unacceptable. I think I just had this to show how ugly these things are. Look how ugly it is. It looks like it's uncooked. When I say uncooked, like it just popped out of the tummy a bit too early. Look at it. Disgusting, ugly ass dog. Then you have this normal looking thing. Like, this is more precious. Like, would you rather look at this or this dopey looking thing? So approximately 3.3 million dogs enter shelters every year. Let's see what year this is, though. Doesn't state the year. So 3.3 million dogs enter the shelter every year. Only half are adopted, and approximately 1.5 million shelter pets are euthanized. 87 of these so-called worthless mutts are not spayed and neutered. That's pretty high, and that kind of conflicts with all the other crap they stated. And they're stating that these things will roam to find mates, and they'll camp out and they have diseases and all that stuff. But yet, 87% of them are not spayed and neutered, hoarded up in shelters. And I'm pretty sure all of them are doing pretty well. I think so. With donations from Penny Fix, we hope to bring free spay and neuter across those. Again, this is about these dogs. Like, I don't know why they insist on. I mean, I understand why they do it, because they're dog nutters. This is, it's their job to push the dog propaganda. But I'm asking why, hypothetically, like why, what's the point though? Like, they're worthless mutts. Like, what's the point here? I mean, you already have, and they say they have 3.3 millions in dogs in shelters. So why not just put them to sleep already? Why are you wasting everyone's time and resources on these worthless mutts? And to bring free, I mean, that's a lot of dogs. 3.3 million dogs. Let's say, let's say 87% of this are not spay and neutered. That's a lot of money. A lot of resources, a lot of time wasted on worthless mutts. I'm not sure what reunited means. I don't know, but yeah, yeah. So again, just synopsis of what we covered, or summary, I should say, a summary of what we covered. We looked at, well, at least we tried to, or at least I tried to look up stats and facts on dog attacks of dogs that are spayed and neutered, but found nothing. And these dog nuts are willing to breed these things, and they're willing to cut off their junk to prevent diseases, to prevent aggression. So what they're saying is dogs are born into this world. Unfortunately, they're born into this world with dysfunction. They're born, their own body part is what's gonna make them very sick. Their own body part is going to allow them to be very aggressive. And to the dog owners and the dog nuts, that is unacceptable. So which is why they cut off their junk. Which, again, it's very dysfunctional. Very dysfunctional. And it just means, again, that the natural state of these dogs are unacceptable. The natural state of these dogs are dangerous. It is. Because they're telling us that they cut these dogs up, or they butch these dogs to keep them healthy. So they're saying if they have them intact, they're more likely to be sick. So their own body part is detrimental to their own worthless lives. And it's weird. Like, and again, I say it a lot. I know I say a lot of things over and over again repeatedly, but it just doesn't make sense how these dog lovers can say, they love these dogs. Dogs are this, dogs are everything. But they still go around and cutting off their junk. They're cutting off their body parts. And that conflicts with my body, my choice. Except for dogs, it's our choice to butch them, which is true. It's the dog nutter's choice to butch them. And when they say, again, I've shown you articles about this, where they say, butching a dog makes them less aggressive. But I thought that was the owner's job, to train them to not be aggressive. But you see, even if they're butch and they attack, the owner still gets blame. Even if they are intact and they are aggressive, the owner still gets blame and the dog gets exempt from any blame whatsoever. So again, this whole dog culture, it makes no sense. It doesn't make sense. Because from the beginning of time in this dog culture, they did not question things about these dogs and this dog culture. They just went with things. They just went with it. Even when things made no sense whatsoever and they knew it was a lie, they just went with it. Because they have been pushing this dog propaganda as their little children all over the place. And they think these dogs are so perfect and good and innocent, when that is not the case ever. And then they don't question anything surrounding this dog culture. They will lie to themselves and say ugly dogs are beautiful, when that's clear as day they are ugly and deformed. We can't find real natural animals that look that deformed. Like a dog. Many dogs just look deformed, ugly, and just disgusting to look at. But the dog nut doesn't see that because they lie to themselves and think the dog is beautiful when no, it's not. It is disgusting. It is a mutant. And their natural state of whatever they got is unacceptable. So unacceptable that the dog nutter will cut off their junk in hopes that they can be acceptable. But even after cutting off their junk, that dog not only remains worthless, or even more worthless now, but that dog still remains dangerous, aggressive, ugly, and just unnecessary. I hope whatever I went over makes any sense, because I know as I'm reading these things, it just doesn't make any sense. That's why sometimes I have to pause for a while, because I'm trying to read this, I'm trying to register this into my head, I'm trying to understand it, because it just doesn't make any sense. But let's say, off topic. Let's go off topic for one quick second. Let's say a dog is very dangerous. This dog, this type of dog, this breed dog is very dangerous. Would you still place it inside your house, knowing that these things are very dangerous? And obviously to the dog nutter, to the pit bull nutters and the bully tars, they would risk it because you know what they say, every dog is individual, and we always find out the hard way when these dogs end up attacking and killing someone. But anyways, Gore the Dog Butcher with another worthless mutts, and remember, it is okay to hate